Military facilities become abortion clinics. That's what one pro-life group claims will happen if an amendment added to the Department of Defense authorization bill gets through Congress. Joining us now for a fair and balanced debate on both sides, Mary Harned, who is staff counsel for Americans United for Life, and Nancy Keenan, who is president of NARAL Pro-Choice America. Welcome to you both. Glad to have you here today.
Great to be here.
Now, as it stands right now, my understanding of the law is you cannot get an elective abortion on a military base. I mean, there are abortions for life of the mother in jeopardy or rape or incest. Nancy, why is that not enough? Why should we consider a change?
We believe that women serving in the military overseas should have the same access to health care that women in this country, including abortion care, that they pay for with their own money. And that's what we believe should be available for these women who serve our country overseas.
And Mary, of course, there are those who are concerned that we're talking possibly about taxpayer dollars or some government connection to this issue of abortion that's very passionate on both sides.
Absolutely. What the Burris Amendment does is that it allows the use of military facilities and military equipment and military personnel for receiving elective abortions. And of course, you're using taxpayer funding when you're using military facilities and military equipment. And not only that, but it diverts funds that should be used for life-saving treatment for members of the military to the provision of elective abortions. As you mentioned, that's what we're talking about here, is elective abortions. And currently, women in the military do have the same rights that other women do in this country. They do not have a right to have federal tax dollars go towards paying for elective abortions, just as no other American citizens have that right.
Shannon, let's be clear, though. The women have to pay for that abortion up front with their own money. And they pay an administrative fee. So this dialogue that the military is subsidizing somehow this care is not a valid argument, because these women also have to pay the administrative fee. Keep in mind, women serving overseas, we can never understand the circumstances that they might be in, that they might face. In some instances, it's rape. For others, it's women who are married to military servicemen who access their basic health care at these overseas hospitals. And so we're asking women then to go off the base and access care in some of these countries that cannot be safe. Is that what we're wanting for our servicewomen who are giving their lives to our country?
Mary, is it accurate that they can use their own money, that this could be separate from military personnel, or at least additional taxpayer dollars or cost, if they write the check themselves?
Well, what the Burris Amendment does is it doesn't strike the provision that talks about direct payment for the abortions, but it still does allow for the use of military facilities, military personnel, and military equipment, which is funded by taxpayer dollars. So it's just not rational to say that this will not amount to taxpayer subsidization of abortion. Further, the way the system works now is that if a woman chooses to have an elective abortion while she's in the military, she can take, if she's not able to obtain it in the country where, off base in the country where she's stationed, she can ride on a military flight on a space available basis to another country to obtain that abortion. And we are talking about elective abortions here. We're not talking about cases of rape or incest or the life of the mother. And so just as she would have to leave the base to get probably some other type of elective procedure that's not covered by her medical health insurance, she has to leave the base to get an elective abortion. And keep in mind that many of our service women, if they face an unplanned pregnancy, are happy to embrace that pregnancy and to bring their babies into the world. So this is not, we're not talking about every woman who faces an unplanned pregnancy in the military.
Nancy, quickly.
Yes, very quickly. This is about her own money to pay for abortion care on a military facility and all of the administration fees, so that's bogus. But this is what is unconscionable to me, is that individual groups or politicians want to deny women the freedom to access that care that is available in this country, the freedom and what they're fighting for overseas. And that is unconscionable, that we want to tell them that they cannot access those rights that we have, the freedom they fight for in another country.
Just like other Americans, they don't have the right to taxpayer-subsidized abortion. So
we got to leave it there. We'll leave it with agreeing to disagree. We thank you both for weighing in on something that is very emotional and very passionate on both sides. We know it's a tough topic. We'll watch and see what happens on Capitol Hill as this amendment and the authorization bill goes through. Thank you both.
Thanks
very much
for having us.
Well, Tuesday night, all combat troops will be out of Iraq and the president will be out in front of the nation. He's keeping his campaign promise, but is it too much too soon?